Tight. Hold my baby squid, keep him out of sight. Talking about my life, government stay away. Watch me thrive, I'ma do it my own way. Squid in the ocean, swimming all alone. Ain't nobody telling me where to go. Living free, gotta stay true to myself. No need for interference from anyone else. Squid pro quo, that's the way to be. Living on my terms, setting myself free. Mama to my baby, protecting with my no government intrusion. I control my life.
Hey guys, it's Squid. Welcome back to my channel. How is everybody doing today? It is a glorious day. So before we get started with the topic at hand, I woke up to a text message this morning from my mother. That said, "Oh my God, Brian Bedford is nominated by Trump to lead the FAA." Brian Bedford is an interesting person, to say the least. When I met him, he was not my favorite person. And yeah, he was not my favorite person. My response, playing devil's advocate, I gotta give Trump credit because this is the first FAA administrator in the last few that actually knows something about aviation. However, I personally blame Brian Bedford for why that airline on my shelf no longer exists. So, yeah, there's that. How is everybody doing today? An Unhung Hero, thank you as usual for the 5 Squid Pro memberships. You are amazing, and I love you. Yeah. Sorry, I switched my, I was doing some stuff today, and I switched around my camera, so I have to move my camera back over here because I was working on some stuff and needed a different angle. Arizona, Hawk, Shirley, Victor, Joe Watching, and Deborah Peterson. Congratulations. Turning chat green, a few gifted memberships at a time. Oh yeah, and I have some tea to spill with this revelation today. I also have some tea to just spill because it's fun. Anyway, we are going to get started on the topic at hand. I accidentally closed, oh, I gotta close Pacer, sorry. I accidentally closed my article from last time, so I have to find it. So it's gonna take me a second. And I'm waiting on my special guest to arrive because apparently he's late. Day late and a dollar short. But hey, Mom, how are you? Tammy, Peachy, how are you? Sweet Fly, as always, it's great to see you. Paul, Gail, it's good to see y'all. Y'all are amazing, and I love you so much. Yeah, he's never late. I don't know where he at. I sent him the link. So, hold on one second. I have to mute myself. He sent me a song, and I have to. Hey, Way to be on time.
Hang on a minute. I can't turn this fucker off. I can't find where. I need to turn it off. Where's the fucking button? Oh, thank God for that. Excuse me. I haven't. Oh, my word. Oh, God. Can I just...
Oh, my God.
Go on.
Oh. She just ran in the room, looks at me, and goes, catch. Throws me over. You want to take the shoes off? I caught it. Now it's your turn, but don't throw it. Do you want to take your shoes off? Okay, come here. Let's take your shoes off. Oh, my goodness.
Oh. Hi. How are? Did I just send you that?
Yeah, you sent me that. I listened to the first. I was thinking it was maybe a voice message from you that you were running late or something. Yeah. And then I listened to the first 4 words of it, and I'm like, nope, song for another time.
No, JK Phil. With everything that's going on, he's just thinking, oh, this is hilarious meme competition. So he's put his own memes in for me to peruse. Oh, we're both gonna be
and before we get started on this,
yeah,
I have to show a thumbnail for a stream I will be doing tonight at 8:00.
I'm not to blame.
I just have to actually open the thumbnail and then share my screen. So, I'm running so late today because I have so much to do. We just got home.
I'm just hearing
and excuses. It's hotter than shit outside.
Yeah, I'm still hearing excuses. That's all.
Yeah. Shush.
Don't shush me.
So this is a stream I am going to be doing tonight with a special guest who shall remain nameless until tonight. But
that's a very interesting topic. That's a very interesting.
Just FYI to everybody watching, the guest tonight, you all probably know well, but I don't know if they've ever been on a stream before. So tonight will be first, maybe that I'm aware of. So it should be fun.
Yeah. But, just a quick one on that one, if I may.
Yeah.
Parasocial relationships. Over the last few days, I have noticed a phenomenon. I have noticed a phenomenon. Right, that relationships. Excuse me a second.
And just like that,
some of the relationships that I have noticed. I mean, your community, my community are fairly laid back. However, I've definitely thinking about it. I did the research on it after the last time you spoke about it. And then thinking about the ATC and everything else, I think there's the added bonus about this parasocial thing is also behavior and inability or unwillingness to actually accept failure or mistakes, which then expands the problem under that. Anyway, hi everybody.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of this person knows more about it than I have from not only being a viewer of many of these channels, but also having their own situation with a relationship becoming toxic and why toxic people are why it's okay to eliminate toxic people from your world before things get crazy, because especially in the YouTube world, you not only have to worry about the people but their followers who are sometimes crazier than they are or more fanatical than they are.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, everyone mentions mental health, mental stabilities, you know, and behaviors and stuff. Um, there's a lot going on. There's a handbag on laying on the floor that's still vibrating. So um, there's a lot of issues that need to be unpacked. And the thing is, when you're on the receiving end, or when you are standing in defense, you get. I mean, this parasocial thing. Yeah, we definitely need to dig into it, because I'm quite interested in this, because this is
8
also.
o'clock, 8 o'clock tonight.
Because this is
And if
also.
this goes well, I'll probably do more panels on it, because this is one of those topics where it's like it goes far beyond YouTube. It's been around since the 50s, that term, parasocial relationship. It's not a new term. But it used to be just celebrities in movies and singers and people that you never could actually communicate with. And then with the rise of social media and Twitter, all of a sudden you could tweet at your favorite celebrity and they might retweet you. And then with the rise of YouTube creators, Twitch creators, and live chats, and now you have creators actively responding to you in real time, things can get convoluted. And not to say that it's a problem now and it's never been a problem in the past, but where does it go from being healthy and fun to unhealthy? And that, I believe, is part of what the Hales drama, why it's so much offline, not just the court case, because you have these creators who are personally involved, or people who are personally involved with these creators, have this parasocial relationship with this creator, and then they get personally, and like they feel personally involved, whether they are or not. Emotions are a hell of a drug. Like, you feel connected to someone even though you've never met them.
But that also goes into a social, psychological level as well, because if you feel like you are part of, that circle, that inner circle, or part of that environment, then that's a psychological issue as well. Because the thing is, there has to be a disconnect between the topic and yourself. Like for me, this whole topic about the ATC thing and about what the Hales and everything else is separate to my entity, because I'm not here for that. I'm here to play games, get my content out there, meet people like-minded, and but the thing is, there's also good things that you can get from these situations by friendships, long-term friendships. You can get good relationships with male or female or other. It doesn't really matter. You can build relationships. Even if you never meet each other, you can build that friendship and you can build that trust.
Yeah, and also, just because two people have streamed together, or two people are covering the same topic and they're on the same side or whatever, doesn't automatically mean that they're going to be friends. And it's okay to not be friends with people.
Exactly.
Like, it's okay. Not everybody in the world. Like, you meet somebody at the grocery store, you might be friendly with them, but you're not friends. There's a line, and it's like, where does it go from? Where does it go from a healthy, normal thing to want to be a sense of a community to an unhealthy? So that's part of the discussion tonight. We have lots of information. This person's very knowledgeable in this topic, much more knowledgeable than me. And that's one of the things that I like doing, is I'm interested in a topic, but I realize that I don't know everything. I don't know a lot. I just know what I have personal experience with. And that people in this world have more knowledge, whether it's book smart from a college degree in psychology and hands-on relationship, or hands-on work in a psychological field, mental health field, or if it's people that have experience with it from the creator side that got a little out of balance and out of whack, or from the person who was thought something was being reciprocated that really wasn't. And where does it So there's a lot of people in this world that have a hell of a lot more knowledge than me.
Mhm.
And I like talking about things, but just because I talk about something does not make me an expert.
I
And
mean,
I don't claim to be.
I mean, the one thing I have noticed over what's been going on over the last few months or last 6 months is this type of attitude. And maybe the audience will know this. I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? It's that childish behavior. It's that lack of empathy. It's that lack of understanding that I may say something that you will say, or you will say something that I've said, and you won't like me repeating what you said, or vice versa. And I think there is a disconnect from reality to fantasy, and parasocial relationships can emphasize that even worse.
Yeah.
You know,
It's an
in my
interesting
opinion.
topic, and it can go in many different
Mm.
directions. And I don't think that this deep dive will be the last person or the last time that this person and I ever discuss it. I have a feeling it's going to go really well. And it's one of those things of we were going to do it later this week. You're going to do it probably tomorrow or Friday. But then today, with people not streaming at 8 o'clock, your regular 8 o'clock streamers not streaming tonight, apparently.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it would give a sense of connection to yeah. Oh, Gail, white purple-haired cow. The thunder cows. That's my thunder cow emoji.
Just very quickly, just want to say hello, good evening to everybody in chat and around the world. May I just remind you that anything that's said by myself or the host is our own opinion, and we are reading from documents, official documents. So if you're offended, you know, grow.
And Barbara brings up a really good point too.
What?
Not every person that is obsessive is mentally ill. They call them fanatics for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
sorry, my. You want me to put it on you?
That's a very good. That's a very good comment, actually, because the thing is, mental health, right? There's many different levels of mental health, and like when you can't label every single person if you don't agree with them or they have a different reaction, you can't label them with mental health unless you have factual proof. Because, like I was saying before in a different subject, I have done counseling course. I've done a counseling course. I was a BCDT instructor for 10 plus years. I learned about operational stress, and I was taught about operational stress. And I was also taught to be a counselor, to talk to people, to help people. I'm at the moment doing another course on emergency mental health. The thing is, if you keep labeling someone, and they do happen to have mental health illnesses or issues, and the thing is, you can trigger reactions in people. It can be straight away, it can be afterward, it can be in a while. But people need to stop labeling. Unless you are qualified, stop labeling, because you can make a situation worse.
And that's very true as well. But we will save that
To later. Yes.
Yeah, we will save that discussion for later. And I can guarantee it will not be the last time that this is mentioned on my channel, because this is a topic, because I don't have a degree in psychology. However, if I were to go back to school, if I were to go back to college and get another degree, I would need 3 more credits to get a minor in psychology. So I do not have a degree in psychology, but occupational therapy has given me enough required psychology courses to be that close to a minor in psychology.
Well, what are you sitting here for? Why aren't you doing
it? Because I will never work in
No, you may not, but it'll be nice. Yeah, I know I know you won't, but it'll be nice to have on your list of achievements.
I have 10 letters behind my name anyway. I don't need more. I don't want more.
What?
because I don't use all 10 that I have now. I have
What most wanted?
COTA, clinical lymphedema therapist, and corrective exercise specialist, and I use none of those right now.
Right.
So
Page 5, bottom of the picture, we stopped at Wildy ASDEX.
all right, let's share this screen. And we are going to get back into this. I will be also doing a deeper dive on Brian Bedford, Trump's nominee for the FAA administrator. I have thoughts. Considering he used to be my boss, I have thoughts.
I mean, the more stuff I see coming out of the States with all this, you know, I mean, considering that suddenly the ATC and everything else has come under the microscope, and there's a lot of stuff now appearing online in regards of close calls, accidents, crashes, and I sent you one, which is the perfect example, the one with ATC having a joke with a pilot.
Yeah. Well, the thing is when I worked in civilian aviation, Brian Bedford was my CEO.
Oh, shit.
So I have personal interactions with this man. The one thing I will, without doing a deep dive on him and letting you know exactly why I like and don't like him, the one thing I will say is at least Trump chose somebody with aviation experience.
Yeah.
I will give that, because the last FAA administrator, all I could find on him was a shell company, and he got his single engine pilot license in 2023.
Yeah, so basically he's got hardly any experience whatsoever.
Yeah, and he didn't get his pilot license until after he became FAA administrator. But he is only rated for single engine according to my source.
Hi, Mama Squid. Hugs.
So do I. He was my boss first. Yes, he was my mother's boss first and for longer. But just yeah. So when I say like I know Brian Bedford, like we've talked. Like, you know, he had the power to fire me.
Right. Quick question.
He could have.
Right. Quick question before we carry on with this. Yeah. The small video I sent you, page 5, yeah, right there. The small video I sent you is a perfect example of where more money should be going into, and that is to training and skill fade training. If you can show it. If you can't, I'll just give you a quick synopsis of actually what happened.
When did you send that one to me? Because
please hold. Your call is important. Please hold. Your call is important. Thank you.
Because I've been sent like 800 videos by you over the course of the last 2 months about these topics.
That is such a lie. It was 742. Thank you very much.
Was it the ATC go around? I'm kidding.
Yes, that's the one. Yep, that's the. Okay. Wait a minute. You complain about the information and the research I do, and now you find it just like that.
Well, that's because I had to scroll back, but I had to scroll back.
Listen here, madam. Okay, yeah, carry on.
I had to scroll back through like 300 messages.
Wait, are you complaining that I'm giving you all this intel and research and everything, or are you actually happy about it? Because you sounded a little bit upset there for a second.
It's fine. It's just my brain to, when I don't save these things to my computer, it's a lot to it's a lot to compute.
The thing is, I can watch this stuff on double speed and get the context of it, but then I need to slow it back down and give it to other people, because I can take in information a little bit quicker on certain topics. I can take it in really quick, but like,
well, the problem is like 99. The thing about the brain is if you're not paying attention, you can't learn. So like 99% of memory problems are not a memory problem. It's an attention problem. If you're not attending to what you're reading or watching or anything, you won't remember it. And y'all know how often that I actually get to attend 100% on something I'm looking at. I was recording a video this morning and I have to edit out 2 to 3 minute chunks of the video that I recorded this morning because I'm having to go like refill water, or hey, I want to brush my teeth for the 4th time this morning. Hey, open this package, or you didn't open this well enough, or she's just over there. Like this morning, she goes, Mom, 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 Mom. And I'm like, what? She goes, hi.
Oh, come on. That's cute.
Oh, it's adorable. However, it's one of those things where it's like, when I'm trying to like take in information, I don't really get the time to
see everyone
100% on things.
See, everyone's different on taking in information and stuff. I mean, I've learned more about American law and about American behavior and attitude. Since like the other topics, I've been watching it. I've been following for about 5, 6, 7 years. Actually, in fact, just when probably he started, but coincidence. The thing is, though, I have learned so much about American law and about American attitude and behavior more from all this than I did when I served with Americans abroad.
Well, and the problem is, and you will learn if you haven't already learned, the problem with American law, and I don't know if this happens overseas as well, it probably does, they keep adding more laws, but they don't take any of the old ones away. So then you have new law, which oversees the old law, but the old law still has aspects to it that you have to know the old law and the new law. And it's like, it's just, so sometimes I wish our Congress would literally go through and be like, this law is from, 1990 and no longer applies in 2025. We have this law and this law and this law that cover the same thing. How about we remove that law from the books?
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to remember, like everyone else does, is that systems and governments, they create laws at the present day to ascertain control over what they're dealing with at the time. And that's why there are so many laws that contradict laws that were created or were brought into power 3 years ago. And then today you've got another law. Oh, you can't do this, this, and this, and everything, this, that totally contradicts what happened 2 years ago. Yeah. So, but this here, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect example of, go for it.
Ready? Oh, I was moving it faster because he's in and out. All right.
Heavy Atlantic down, OH 23014, runway 27 left to the land. Land 27 left, we do not have a gate yet, so we might want to figure out some place for us to park while we sort it out. Got a 630 go around. I'm kidding, got a 630, as you're landing, I got no one behind you, expect to exit right to second high speed, we'll hide you out somewhere down by top. Got a 630 heavy, you copy? Sorry, station. Expect to exit the second high speed, November 2. So 630, you're spinning land running 27 left. Send us around, got a 630's on the go. Got a 630, climb and maintain 4,000, turn left heading 180. 4,000, 180.
This joke by ATC went terribly wrong.
Got a 630, heavy Atlantic down.
Yeah, you don't joke around. No offense, but you don't joke around as air traffic control.
That there, you could tell in his voice, the moment he said go around, and that plane just went, landing gear back up, power on, lift nose up. As soon as he saw that plane like you could tell the voice from jovial to to oh shit. And the thing is, things like that can cause a reaction in the pilots. Don't forget, they've been in that plane 9 hours, 12 hours, God knows how many hours, right? They're also tired. They're human beings. And you don't know how people react. Now, go ahead.
I have to go check on my toddler who is currently
You're going to leave me alone with all these people. Oh, yeah.
yelling. You want to start reading this because you have your own copy?
Yes.
And I will bring it up and then
Yeah, just take it up to the bottom of that picture where it says while at ASDE. There, stop. There you go. Perfect.
There we go. And I will be back in a...
No. Go back. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
There we go.
Right.
I will be back in a hot minute.
Okay. Yeah, no drama. I'll just read through it. All right. Now I've got all you beauties with me alone. Hello. Right. Anyway, going back in. Obviously, this is about the absolute FUBAR of ATC. So we're going to carry on reading from the bottom there. While the ASDX and the ASSC are deployed to 44 of the most complex airports, there are over 400 airports that do not have any surface tools for air traffic controllers. Implementing real-time surface movements awareness technology is vital in preventing of runway incursions, significantly enhancing safety at many airports. You've seen some of the videos. The FAA rapidly deployed the Surface Awareness Initiative, the SAI system, following a close call between a FedEx aircraft at final approach on a Southwest Airlines jet preparing for takeoff at Austin Bergstrom International Airport, Austin, Texas, on October 11th, 2023. The deployment of the SIA in accordance with the National Transportation Safety Board Safety Rate Recommendations A24-010 as an outcome of the Austin, Texas event. Immediate deployment of this system can reduce the risk of incidents and accidents and potentially save lives. Through the initiative, the FAA would deploy the life-saving SIA technology to 200 more airports. Gail, hi. Right. Investing in ADS-B in the Caribbean is vital for the FAA to enhance aviation safety and efficiency in a region with limited radar coverage, busy international flight corridors, and challenging geography. ADS-B's satellite-based tracking provides precise real-time aircraft surveillance over remote oceanic areas, enabling safer routing, reduced aircraft separation, and improved search and rescue capabilities. Its cost effectiveness requires smaller, cheaper ground stations than radar and supports general aviation, tourism-driven economies, and emerging technologies like drones. By aligning with global ICAO standards, ADS-B ensures operatable boosts air traffic capacity and prepares the Caribbean for future aviation's demands. All while supporting the FAA modernization goals, airborne surveillance in the Caribbean is currently unreliable due to challenging terrain and frequent adverse weather. Well, yeah, it's the Caribbean. The region is high volume complex airspace where increased ADS-B coverage would significantly improve both safety and operational efficiency for pilots and controls navigating these corridors. However, under the FAA current projected program plan based on historical F&E operations, surface surveillance and SII programs should not be complete until 2033.
Also known as appropriations.
Right. Also, something very quickly, I think this is an idea for the future that we do when we do a pre-conflab about streams like this, is that we put up a list somewhere on the screen, or we try to, and we take these abbreviations and actually sort of write them out so people who have got no clue about what we're talking about or the abbreviations, so they know what the abbreviations mean, if it's not going to take too much space.
Yeah, I can see about trying to do that. I have to figure out where I can do that on here. And yeah. Hey, EMS, how are you today?
Oh, hello. Do you want me to carry on? Or
I can carry on. My voice is getting better, slowly but surely.
Thank God for that.
Traffic flow management, TFM, is critical for ensuring safe, efficient air traffic movement by minimizing delays and congestion through strategic coordination and use of traffic management initiatives. The current traffic flow management system, which supports balancing national airspace system capacity with growing flight demand, is based on 1960s technology and is struggling with performance, reliability, scalability, and maintainability issues. Despite recent technical refreshes, TFMS cannot meet increasing user expectations or operational needs as it suffers from fragmented data integration and lacks a comprehensive failover strategy. And this right here, lacks a failover strategy, is huge. Is huge.
Yeah, I've already wrote down the first question. I'm gonna, once you finish with this, I'm gonna fire some questions at you because go on. Sorry.
To address these critical shortcomings, the FAA is developing the Flow Management Data and Service Program, which will deliver a modern, scalable, and integrated platform with improved reliability, usability, and operational continuity, ensuring TFM can effectively support the evolving demands of the NAS well into the future. And that's one of the things with this, is well into the future. What does that mean? I guess we don't know because we don't know where technology is going to go, but yeah. TFMS was originally ETMS, Enhanced Traffic Management System. It's like, I understand like we can't predict where technology is going to go, so that makes it kind of hard. But my thing with all of this is, I understand that all of this needs to be upgraded. It's needed to be upgraded since the 90s. However, when we're going to spend all this money, how are these systems that can be upgraded one at a time in the future? That hasn't been answered for me yet. And that's one question that if I were Congress looking at this, that I would ask.
Yeah.
Is it now a plug and play where since it's digital, we just need to upgrade the software and not the hardware? Because upgrading software is a hell of a lot easier than hardware.
Yeah, I mean, I've already, like, just in that one paragraph that you wrote, I can't believe I'm actually writing this shit down. There's already three things. The first question I came up with was why have they waited up until now to then start doing this? Why didn't they progress over time? Why wasn't there an evolutionary progression of updating the equipment up to now? Because if they would have done that, one, it wouldn't have cost as much, and two, there would have been less incidents, and three, they wouldn't be spending nearly 10 years to update something that could take a year or 2 years. Now, my second one is there's no, like I've wrote down, no excuses to update or progress equipment. Why wait until more accidents have occurred, more incidents have occurred? Why now? Why wait until the death toll has gone? And my condolences to the families who have lost people in air accident. But why wait until a death toll reaches a certain amount before they start getting a grip on this? The third thing I'll come from this paragraph is, are they just going to put it in, implement it, and use it? Or are they going to find an area where they can go, right, test the equipment, find out where the gremlins are, and make sure it bloody works and stays working when it does go into public use? Those are the three questions I've got so far just from that one paragraph.
A couple of responses for that.
Go for it.
Having been a government employee, and seeing how much bureaucracy and how nobody can get along for shit, the parasocial relationships tend to bleed over with congressmen and their constituents, now that there's Twitter and all that. So there's another aspect of that. You know, you can hear directly from your constituents and you still don't listen. So there's that. Secondly, we're a reactionary bunch and not a proactive, because there's that phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it requires, going back to my first point about so much bureaucracy and people not getting along, people can't even fake it. You put it, when you have changing administrations every 4 years, you have people playing the blame game. And that's what I hate about Washington is no matter what side of the fucking aisle you're on, they play the blame game. Well, it's this person's fault. Well, who cares whose fault it was? Now fix it. So the one thing that like I hate about this plan is that it's costing so much. The thing that I like about this plan is in my lifetime that I can remember, be it I haven't studied, I haven't actually read the documents for a while. I just listened to the news like a fucking idiot. This is the first time I've actually seen a written down plan that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I agree on that one. But
so I don't like it per se that it's so expensive and we've waited so long. But like I said before, or hate the Trump administration, they are telling you exactly what they're going to do, and they're actually coming up with a plan to do it. You may or may not like the plan, and that's a completely different topic. But no one can disagree with the fact that when they tell you they're going to do something,
right? Okay,
they do it.
Okay, now point made on that. But let me play devil's advocate in regards of air safety. We're talking about air safety, equipment, training, and everything else. And $3 billion is quite a lot of monies. Now, one thing I have to stress here: politics need to be kept out of this topic. The reason being, we know that politics, obviously, like you said just now, every administration changes head. It's like, every time something changes, every 4 years, it changes. This is why I was saying on the last stream is that an independent body of people across the board, both sides of the aisle, and it doesn't matter who they are, but there should be an independent body fully responsible to deal with this type of thing. Because we're talking about Senator Jack Jones' wife on a plane. We're talking about President Trump's daughter on a plane. All these, there has to be seriousness in taking this and properly.
I agree with you. It's the difference between knowing what should happen and being realistic about what actually does.
Yeah, and here, being realistic about it in this document, this is realism. This is basically saying, guys, if we don't get a grip of this shit, we're going to lose control. There are more planes in the sky.
Jeff brings up a really good, Paul, Jeff, and Nina actually bring up really good points. I'm going to start with Jeff's because it's up on the screen. Simple answer is U.S. infrastructure is nothing more than a political talking point for elections, while the tax money goes by trillions get wasted elsewhere.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
And Paul said, not something Congress is interested in, and it doesn't get them votes. And Nina brought up a good point about the software. Actually, the software is the problem. They add more and more to it, and the systems can't handle it, like CWiz. Yeah. Speaking of CWiz, I don't have them with me. I have CWiz rounds somewhere around here.
I mean, you can
tell shells.
I mean, that video that we're playing, okay, that's basically someone using a receiver to listen to ATC traffic. But I mean, you were lucky to actually hear what the pilot was saying.
Yeah.
That takes me back to like, hello, 0, this is Tango 10, radio message, over. Yeah, that's how stupid it is. But right, do you want me to carry on or you carrying on? Because I don't know where we are.
I can carry on.
Okay, go for it.
The NAS would greatly benefit from the implementation of Alaska Automation Capability, AAC, for the flight service in Alaska to modernize and enhance the efficiency, safety, and reliability of flight services in a state with unique challenges like vast wilderness, limited infrastructure, and harsh weather. AAC will replace and modernize the aging, unsecure automation systems like OASIS, integrate advanced automation for weather graphics and flight plan processing and emergency services, addressing the limitations of outdated manual processes for systems with security vulnerabilities. Additionally, the aging voice switches, which provide the only radio coverage in many regions of Alaska, are failing with no replacement available prior to 2035. All existing Alaska Flight Service systems are currently maintained in a sustainment mode or sustainment only mode. Without immediate modernization, essential aviation dependent services in Alaska face increasing risk of failure, threatening public safety and economic stability. In Alaska, 82% of communities lack road access and rely heavily on aviation in ways foreign to most in the continental United States. AAC supports critical services like pilot briefings, NOTAMs, and search and rescue coordination in areas with minimal cell phone or internet coverage. By providing real-time data and streamlined interfaces, AAC reduces controller workload, improves response times, and enhances safety for general aviation and commercial operations in Alaska's non-radar environments, aligning with the FAA's Alaska Flight Service Initiative goals. Well, there's the test bed, but that's a whole nother plan because Alaska has problems and challenges that the rest of the states do not have. Even the most remote place in Washington or Oregon still has decent road service.
Do you know that this is like peeling each layer of an onion, and the more you peel, the more sad you get, the more tears come out, because this is, I mean, like in one part they want to change the technology to Wi-Fi, satellite, and everything else. So basically, to make the system unpredictable, really. I mean, you could be sitting there talking, next to know, oh, we just lost Wi-Fi. Just give it a sec. Rebooted the router. Okay, you got one person in a big control center walking over to a little box and then reset. You know, I mean, there's always a contingency. Like ATCs have a contingency. If they lose power, they can go over to an analog system, or they can even call planes now, right? Because they already know what height they're at, what direction they're flying, and everything else. But looking at this with Alaska being on the dark side of the moon, and you know, it does not Yukon and everything else, and Bering Sea and all that. No, you have severe difficulties of getting to places. Yes, you're going to need helicopters and small planes and boat planes and everything else. Problem is, don't use it as a fucking test bed, because you're dealing with people's lives.
Yeah.
This is turning into a test bed. This is turning into, oh yeah, we'll just use about, say 400 airports, and we'll just throw the spanner in there, and then we'll just go, fuck that.
Roy, that's so good to hear. Afternoon, everyone. Just got home from the hospital. Voice support placement procedure went great.
Yes.
If you are the praying type, or the positive vibes type, send positive vibes and prayers towards Roy and his wife. His wife is going through a very difficult situation. Mm-hmm. And also 3 Awesome Dogs has not been around for a while. He just lost his brother to cancer. Wow. So if y'all could send that family a few prayers, if you want to add them to your prayer, or positive vibes, whatever God you pray to, even if it's the neon lights down at the local bar, throw up a couple, positive vibes their way.
And don't forget SMN.
So good to hear.
Yeah, and don't forget SMN, who unfortunately lost his father a few days ago.
Yeah, and SMN, he lost his father this past weekend. So it's quite the yeah. I got nothing. It's one of those things of like, I can't say anything that'll make it. I don't.
Well, I mean, like, what in regards of the news of for people we know, or
yeah, I can only I know that I can only say so much. I can.
Well, all I can say is
let people know that I'm always awkward with that, because I don't want to pry, but it's like I'm that type of person where I'll be here if you need me. And I'll let people know that I'm here if you need me, but I'm not going to sit and.
Well, I mean, all we can do as human beings is listen, support, and if they need to talk, is just to be there for them. We may not be family members. We may maybe not be able to put our arms around each other and show physical support, but to be there for each other, it doesn't hurt. You're not being melodramatic. You are there. You know, we are human beings at the end of the day, internet or not. We still are human beings.
I think part of that, though, is I hate when people like overly get, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? So I try not to do that to other people. That's why I was bad at sales, because I hate pushy people. So I don't, I try not to be that pushy person. But it's also one of those things of like, you find out who your friends are or who your positive acquaintances are in rough times. When you need something, or you're having a rough time, or something's going on, and you expect people to be there for you, and you find out who your friends are.
Yeah,
so,
or you just sit there and let people shout at you in text and voice chats, and you just sit and go, yep, sure, yes, Squid, absolutely, Squid. Come on, let's carry on reading.
and Devil Dog, remind me, I have something to send you. I have an updated crayon eating video that someone sent me this morning. It has to be the funniest crayon eating Facebook reel that I've ever seen in my life. And I have to show it to you. So, because you and Poor Marine are my go-tos for the, whenever someone sends me a video on crayon eaters, I send it to y'all.
I haven't talked to Paul Marie for a while. I hope he's doing it. I hope he's all right.
He's good. I think. I talked to him a little earlier today.
Oh, is it like that now? Is that how the divorce went? So like you get the dogs as well? Come on, Carol, let's carry on.
They have a good luck not being pushed at Best Buy or most stores, really. Maybe they're 6'2", 140 pounds with an ugly mug. That might be it.
Shit.
Well, I have RBF. Like, I have RBF. And, like, if I'm sitting here and I'm listening, I look like I'm either bored or pissed. And it's
both.
like,
You're probably
I'm
both.
either. But that's my I'm paying attention face.
Yeah, if she looks like that, ladies and gentlemen, just look, we know that she's got constipated, so don't worry about it. She said, I'll be back in 5 minutes, then you know what's going on. Carry on reading. Come on. Just carry on reading.
I'm going to tell your wife on you.
I know you are. No, wait, don't, because she bought a new frying pan. Come on.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's
Am I going to be reading your DV paperwork on stream soon?
Oh, God. You carry on reading, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get your voice trained back up to. Come on, let's go.
Oh, I can't. Like, I tried singing along with the song in the car today, and it's like, oh my God, dogs were howling. A little looked at me like, Mom, stop.
Yeah. I'm gonna get the bird again. Fucking hell. When don't I get the bird?
At least you got... That's 2 days from now, not tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. But I will send it to you. And I'm also doing a stream on Friday the 13th with music. So immediate funding would allow that for the FAA to address the Don Young Alaska Aviation Safety Initiative specified in the FAA's 2024 Reauthorization Act, while modernizing flight service systems, which is a congressional identified critical need. I mean, just everything is a congressional identified critical need, but that doesn't mean they've done shit about it. They have to care. And that's the thing. They not only have to care, they have to work together. And we live in a very selfish society where everybody is out for themselves. And everybody is out to make a buck. And it's, yeah. People only do things for either votes or money.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, money is important. Don't get me wrong. Like, you have to have money to live. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys the things that make you happy. However, it's not, there's more to life and there's more to YouTube than just money. AAC would leverage on an already deployed modern flight service capability in continental United States and include appropriate modifications to meet Alaska requirements through a common platform. Automated weather observing systems and visual weather observing systems are critical for Alaska aviation, providing real-time, accurate weather data in remote areas with harsh, rapidly changing conditions, enabling safer flight planning and operations. Weather cameras complement these systems by offering visual confirmation of conditions at airports and key routes, helping pilots assess visibility and hazards like fog or snow. Together, they enhance situational awareness, reduce weather-related accidents, and support Alaska's vast general aviation and commercial operations in areas with limited radar and infrastructure. Accurate real-time weather information is indispensable for safe aviation operations in Alaska, where many communities depend solely on air transportation. Failure to maintain and modernize AWAS and VWAS and weather cameras can lead to severe disruptions, risking the timely delivery of critical supplies, healthcare, and emergency services. Immediate investment in these systems is necessary to ensure continuous and safe connectivity for remote Alaskan communities. And honestly, when I thought about redoing air traffic control, I feel like I'm a horrible person because I never even took Alaska into consideration. I forgot all about Alaska and the fact that a lot of people that live in Alaska don't even have roads going to their house. They fly in and out. So,
While you were talking about that, you're not going to believe what I just found.
what?
You ready for this? While you've got your issues over there, a policy paper of airspace modernization was published in October the 22nd, 2024 over here. Oh shit! So,
And I was making the assumption that based on some of the things that have been said in this document, that Europe and Asia haven't upgraded their systems either, in the sense that they mentioned competition with the rest of the world.
Yep, and here we go.
If Europe would have upgraded their systems, the U.S. Congress would have been all over that shit.
Yeah, because here, over there on this document, what we're discussing right now, it says 1960s, whereas on the UK document, it says the 1950s.
Well, in the UK's defense, I'm assuming all the old stuff had to be redone after World War II because most of it was probably destroyed. So that's where the 50s come in.
Yep.
So,
but just to give you an idea, just to give a nightmare impact of this document and the one I'm seeing, right? I'll just give you in 1950, commercial flights alone increased from 200,000 annually. This is a year. To 2.41 million a year, ending in March 2024. Each day, around 6,000 aircraft and 600,000 people fly in the sky above the UK. So, I wonder how many it is in the UK, in the United States.
that's probably, that right there is probably Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in Atlanta itself. Because that's the busiest airport in the world.
Yeah.
Let's see, Hartsfield, Jackson International, Atlanta International Airport. Do
Yeah, Paul. This is to Paul. Yeah, I understand that. But this is going to be. I'm going to be reading this later on.
Like annual flight data. Oh, annual passengers.
Oh, this was released on the 6th. Oh.
Operating statistics. April of 2025 was the last. So monthly air traffic report. A total aircraft operations from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in April of 2025. Total aircraft operations are 67,455.
Holy shit.
That's one airport for 1 month. So it even has it broken down by airline.
That's absolutely insanity.
Yeah, and that's one year to date, as of the end of April of 2025. Total aircraft operations as of April 2025, 257,702. That's one airport. Total passengers, 32,857,904. That's actually down from last year. That's down 1.7% from last year. So, I don't know. Getting back to, yeah, I can send you this website.
Oh, I've got something. I just found something that you're gonna like. You're probably gonna kill me because I'm sending you more message. But
What's new? Spawn sending me messages. What's new?
oh, shit! Let's not tell everybody. Oh, well, I'm joking.
I'm sorry. You and I literally talk on the phone for like an hour at a time, 5 to 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God Facebook has a phone connection. Otherwise, my phone bill would be like $10,000 a month.
yeah. Hey, God, don't blame me, love.
Like when I say that Spawn and I talk off the internet, like off of YouTube, literally, it's like he's spoken to Mr. Squid. He talks to the little all the time. They have full-blown conversations when I'm not even in the room.
Yep.
Like,
and complaints I've heard are just, yeah.
That's Uncle Spawn.
Yeah.
Like, that is Uncle Spawn.
Yeah, and these conversations are totally different to the ones that the interaction that you're seeing right now, because like I said, when we're doing stuff like this, when we're reading through documents like this, we are Squid and Spawn, but on the other side we're different people. And yeah.
So when I say like over the last, I want to say 5 months, when I say we've developed a friendship, and literally, like, I talk to Spawn more than any other person I've ever met on YouTube.
Yep. And I would like to thank certain individuals for that. Thank you.
Yeah. There was a time where I was texting you or messaging you on a daily basis saying, fix your shit.
Yeah, and I was going, stop harassing me.
That's the thing. When I've told certain people to like cut their bullshit, they're not the only ones. I've literally sent those same messages to all parties involved.
Yeah, and
one is angry, and one tells me I will do better.
Yeah, and I even respected your requests. Did everything you asked me to do because I am a gentleman. Yeah.
Hey, KU Thunder, how are you? Yeah, there was a time when I messaged everybody across the board, like, I don't want to be involved in your shit.
Yeah.
Leave me out of it. Even take me off as mods on your channels, because I don't want to even being seen as like favoritism or anything, like, you know.
Yeah.
And some people got mad with it, and other people respected my wishes. And there's things we worked through as friends. Like, we had fights.
Oh, fuck
like, we disagree all the damn time.
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing is that the people who are on here and are generally commenting, like, Spawn needs to stop interrupting you. It's like, one, nobody's interrupting me. It's a discussion. It's a free discussion. Like, if I was reading and he was interrupting every word, then I'd be like, I'm gonna meet your butt. But like it's not interrupting because half the time on the phone he's like, "Will you shut up and let me talk?"
Yeah. The actual fact that at one point I actually growled. I went, "Would you shut the fuck up so I can get word in sideways, please?"
He's like, "Are you done?"
Sarcastically, of course. Are you done?
Well, for the most part.
Yeah.
Like for the most part, but there's been a couple of times where you've literally been like, "Woman, shut up!" like
I said,
shut up.
like I said to people, even I don't care if you've got a man sausage or a taco crack. I don't care. You all should be treated exactly the same. Now, today, okay, like as a couple of streamers in the past, we've come on and we're talking about this. So let's not get too derailed. But the thing is, if you show each other respect, you can build a friendship which goes past that parasocial thing, and you get to know each other.
I almost called it a paranormal relationship the other day. I'm like, no, that's not it. Completely different. That's a UC territory.
Well, with some people I've met, paranormal wouldn't be that far from the truth. But yeah. But I mean, the thing is, one thing I do like is your community and my community, the people when I live stream and when you live stream, our communities have a lot in common. It's very peaceful. People communicate with each other. And when someone comes in and calls us shit, they just get pummeled. And I mean pummeled.
And that's in my disclaimer, which I didn't play this time because this topic doesn't really I don't have a problem if anybody contacts, the head of the Department of Transportation secretary. Like that's probably for the best.
Barbara. Yeah. If you want to call it that. Yeah. Similar.
Oh, Roy. I have to tell you, Mr. Squid was talking to the little the other day. And because she's normally calm, except for when I'm streaming, because it's always that thing, like, even when she was a baby, it's got to be a mom thing, because even when she was a baby, like, she would be fine playing on the floor by herself, doing tummy time, all of that, so I could, like, eat. And the minute, like, I put food in the microwave, got it out, and went to take a bite, it was, she needed my attention. So it's got to be a mom thing. But so she'll sit here quiet, and the minute I hit record to record a video, it's mom, 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 mom. So when she gets home, or when Mr. Squid gets home, she goes like, she sees his truck pull in the driveway, and she's like all over the place. Mm-hmm. And he was like, the other day, he was like, calm down. And I'm like, dude, I looked at him and I was like, dude, really? He looked at me like, what? I was like, when is ever telling a woman to calm down worked?
That's actually quite dangerous. Even I use tactics that I learned in the military, is basically just, stand to one side, throw the flowers in, then throw the chocolate in, and then throw the comment, love you, darling, and then run like hell.
I mean, she's only 2, but still, when has ever telling a woman on any level to calm down actually made them calm down?
To be honest with you, I've not met any survivors from that type of comment, but.
So she didn't listen to him, and he's getting like, he's not getting frustrated, but he's getting like, like he keeps telling her, it's like, you saying it in a different tone is not going to make it. Like, The more you say it, it's not going to work. She's a woman. Like, she might be a toddler, but she's still a female.
Yeah, try walking up to my queen and saying, calm down.
Depends on whether she has a frying pan in her hand or not.
It'll be like, has anyone seen Spawn Trooper recently? When all you
Has
hear,
she said Mary Advantage yet? No.
Jesus Christ, what? You just scared the fuck out.
You will be in a puddle of blood.
No, don't say that. You can't say that. Like, no, don't touch me. Don't. Oh, what are you after? What do you want? What do you want? Turn around. What are you hiding? Turn around.
I've got no friend punch.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hang on a minute. I've got to search you. Come here. Arms up. Right, come on. Yeah. I'll just make sure you've got your weapons.
Yes, of course.
All right, I'm going to get back to reading this. Because I only got about 20 more minutes. We have till about 4:30.
Yeah. Well, why don't you let me read it then? I can
Okay,
read it.
you can read it now that we've derailed. Because
Now that
that's
we
what we do.
yeah, that's your fault. Right, where were you? The media?
As traffic demands, top
Right.
page.
Okay, right. Keep up, people, because this is going to go fast. As traffic demands on the NSA continue to increase, the needs for efficiency managed volumes become more important. Terminal Flight Data Manager will help air traffic controllers manage the increased load on busy airports through the number of existing technologies. Electronic flight data exchange and electronic flight strips will be installed in air traffic control towers across the US to replace paper strips. TFDMs, terminals data will be available to flight operators and other stakeholders to provide real-time schedules of all airplanes arriving and departing. Which
I will be right back. I just
Okay.
heard her talking to someone, and like I said, like I tell Musi, she talks all day, and I can't. Sometimes I wonder if she's actually like seeing something that I can't. But I will be right back.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone, where sight and sound. Right. Okay. Where was I before? Available to flight operators and stakeholders, and they see that name there, stakeholders. That worries me. To provide real-time schedules of all airplanes arriving to Japan, which will improve traffic flow. TDM will also integrate with the FAA traffic flow management systems to ensure alignment of all traffic flow management initiatives and enabling efficient operations. The TFDM will replace multiple systems in the NAS through the integration of their functionality into the system. This will achieve technology modernization, sharing of data, lower maintenance costs. Through this initiative, TFDM will deploy electronic flight strips to 89 airports. The FAA must replace the FAA must replace its legacy information display system, the IDS, due to their outdated technology, which struggles to meet modern air traffic demands, poses cybersecurity concerns, and incurs high maintenance costs. These systems, some dating back to the 1980s, rely on obsolete hardware such as floppy disk and software, leading and inefficiencies, limited scalability, and vulnerabilities and cyber attacks. As highlighted by experts knowing pathways for hackers into outdated IT infrastructure, EIEDs will provide multiple safety benefits for American public, including increased productivity for air traffic controllers, user efficiency, and NAS safety for displaying, entering, and distributing notices to airmen, and access to special activity airspace schedules and status. The system will enhance safety in the NAS with the pilot reports collected and distributed across the system and to other NAS users, improving NAS resilience by support faster recovery during adverse events and providing the required operational possession information to any other probably configured position. NAS will support air traffic management service providers in maintaining continuity operations by replacing multiple legacy IEDs with EIEDs, as that reminds me. Someone's in trouble. A single system reduces the need for costly compensation controls and supports compliance with evolving aviation standards, aligning with a FAA modernization needs and a very, very upset and angry young child. Now,
She comes in here, she screams like 4 times, and then runs back out again.
Right. Now, that bit there, I've got to say something here. Is you and I have served, and, you know, regardless if we've gone up in rank or have ended up in a leadership position, right? One thing that concerns me with that one paragraph is like, yes, updating a system, good. Making it safer for everybody on the ground and in the air, good. But making it too easy for people, there has to be a point in where your responsibility should not be just so blasé. It has to be, you have to be responsible. The thing is, take into consideration, you've also got skill fade that we spoke about before. That paragraph concerns me. It's like they're trying to make it easier for people to become controllers, but at the same time, you've got that big laziness thing. That's yeah. Anyway, we can talk about that another time. The FAA must develop a common automation platform to replace the standard terminal automation replacement system, STARS, and en route automated modularization, ERAM, to address the inefficiency, high cost, and integration challenges posed by these desperate aging systems, with the struggle to support the growing complexity of the NAS. A unified platform would streamline air traffic control by standardized interfaces. Okay, so if one system goes down, it all goes down. Consolidation data processing for terminals en route operations, and enhancing operability with newer technologies. The current NAS automation systems, our infrastructure is siloed, inflexible, and increasingly costly to maintain as it ages. Each program independent with procedure. I can't carry on reading this. This is absolute bullshit. Because the thing is,
I think the standardizing interfaces, just to play devil's advocate, is making sure that, like, when you go from one tower, say you go to a tower in Atlanta and then you go to a tower in DC, you have the same equipment. You're not having to learn a new.
Well, not just that, but the thing is, if it's integrated into one system across the nation, just work with me on this one. If you've got an integrated system that goes, it's just like the military. I don't know about you, but over here, like if you go, like you've got your standalone, and then you've got your unit system, your MOD system. Like over there, you've got DOD. Over here, we've got MOD. When you go into JPA, you are on one system. So if the system goes down somewhere like up north or down south or in Wales or in Ireland or anywhere else, the whole system then goes down. So if you integrate something that needs to have its independence goes down, it can affect the whole system. So in essence, what you're sort of like updating. Sorry, go ahead.
I see your point, and I wonder. This is only 8 pages, so I'm wondering if if this is consolidated. I mean, obviously it's consolidated, but
yeah,
I wonder what because you have to have, in order for Congress to approve anything, there has to be a backup plan.
Well, Paul Amos just put the perfect comment in.
Yeah. Integrated system would need backup systems, and they don't have what those backup systems would be. But playing devil's advocate, giving people the benefit of the doubt, because this is only 8 pages.
Yeah.
This is a general overview of. I mean, it's a little more in depth than the 3 paragraphs that they, put on in a press release.
Yeah, but, I mean, the biggest issue, the thing is, reading through that what we've done now over 2 streams, I think that what we should do is dig into this a little bit more, because this is one of the most, I think, with the incidents that happen and everything else, I think this is very, very important that we cross our T's and dot our I's and get a little bit more intel on this. Because this is Go ahead.
Yeah, this is an outline, not the nuts and bolts. And I get that too. But like, if I'm trying to persuade somebody, there's a difference for me. Like and maybe you feel the same way, or you might not. I get that this is an outline, but I would put something in there about like understanding integrative systems, backup plan or data updated to each server to protect it from. I would put something in there about what the fail-safe would be instead of just an integrated system and leaving it at that. Even though I know this is only an 8-page plan, and I know the plan is probably, the full plan is probably hundreds of thousands of pages.
Yeah, so basically they could have wrote an advisory and then the one. I mean, so basically, right, okay, this is what we think, and this is speculation, blah 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 blah. But with this, you have to also take into consideration these would be the fail safes and everything else, and this is just a insight. It's not actually, So yeah, but I just think that like the more we've read this, the more it looks like it's like, okay, this is an idea. This is what it could be. This is what it looks like, and this is how it would work. But they forgot to put in the necessary information about fail safes, what happens if satellites go down, what happens if there's like an EM burst or there's a solar flare that affects
Yeah,
people.
and I'm sure that'll be in the full thing.
Yeah.
But my point would be, and Gail, I understand where you're coming from too. Paul, I sort of see where you're coming from, but I have a little pushback on that. If you put in too much information in the outline, it's too easy to shoot down by those against spending the money. And my thought process is whenever I write a paper, or because I am used to medical writing where I have to write to tell an insurance company why they should pay me. Tell, like, my mentor, when I first started actually working, her thing was like, so what? Like, so what? What are you doing this for? Not what are you doing? You don't need to put what you're doing, but you need to put the why you're doing it. I did this activity to produce these results, to increase, independence or whatever I was writing. But I had to write it in the sense of I had to influence somebody to pay me money. So I guess I come at it from the perspective, and this is why I like talking to different people, because we have different ways of viewing things. And 10 people can view the same paper and see different things that they would have corrected or added or taken out. Yeah. But I look at it as, if I'm writing a paper, I'm writing it to persuade the people who are going to give me money to give me money. And if I were looking at this as someone a little more knowledgeable than me, and it says, well, you want an integrated system, but that could fail easily. Why am I going to give you the money that's for something that could fail so easily? That's where I come from when I'm reading this. So there are probably backup plans, but you didn't even tell me remotely what your backup plans are. So I would be like, no, I'm not giving you money for something that I know is going to fail. And if it fails, we're in a worse situation than we are now. Yeah.
And the thing is, I doubt very much they would have put all the same.
And I understand, but what I mean by the medical writing is I'm writing it to persuade somebody to give me money.
Yeah.
So in the aspects, I'm going to put in what I believe those people are looking for, and they want to know where their money is going and if their money is worth it. So when they just say like integrated system, and I know that an integrated system, if it fails in one place, it could fail everywhere. So if I'm going to give you money, I want to know what your plan is if the integrated system fails. So it's like if I was going to give you money, please explain to me why I should give you money. And I think a certain thing is missing in here as to what happens if that redundant system or that integrated system fails. Because if you're coming up with a plan and you don't put the plan in here, like you don't put that, you may have things, but if I'm just going on an 8-page document, whether to approve you funding or moving to the next phase of funding and not, I want to know what that redundancy system is. But that's just that, like I said, that's just me. Because I'm like, when Mr. Squid and I talk about, because we have a thing, if we buy something and it's over a certain amount of money, you talk to each other. And do we say, do we need this? And some of the things that we've talked about, it's like, well, why do we need it? And what happens if what we have fails and we don't have the money to replace what we have now because we just, and Paul, I understand where you're coming from, but an insurance company is not going to give me money if they don't know where their money is going. State Department and Congress is not going to give me money if they don't know where their money's going. So it's a dumbed down version of the same thing. Yes, obviously Congress is more complicated than an insurance company, sort of. I mean, insurance companies, they're their own bitchiness, but that's a topic for another day. But like, what I mean by medical writing is I had to persuade somebody to give me money. One of my questions with looking at this is, what if the system fails? Well, you don't have an answer for me. So why am I going to give you money if you don't have an answer for me? And if I'm only looking at this plan, and this is what is going to determine whether it goes to the next phase of development or it stops with me, this would stop with me right here. Like if I don't, this would stop with me. I'd be like, I'm done because I don't know where my money's going. Yeah, you said if you actually go on the usaspending.gov, you know where all the you said stuff is going for. It's just really hard to find. If you look at one of my streams from, I think last September or last October, I actually go into you said and where some of the money is going. Like the Russian cats on a treadmill. I talked about that one last October, I think. One of my streams from last October. So like, the Barbie dolls that were used to get COVID funding, instead of actual picture IDs, people took pictures of Barbie dolls and got money. So like, but my thing is like,
Wait,
I understand that Congress is a lot more, but I'm using what my persuasive writing and how if I'm going to persuade somebody to give me money, I'm going to make sure that my plan is thorough.
But can I just interject? I get that everyone has their insights about all this, but the thing is, we're talking about, and we respectfully, we're talking about two different topics here, and this is not towards you. This is towards the audience. We're talking about two. I'll talk to you as well. We're dealing with two different separate situations. We're talking about the health system, or we're talking about ATC and air safety. So let's just stick to the air safety at this present time. We can always do Squid can always set up a stream in regards of, selling, all what she was discussing. But let's just stay on topic and let's stay on the rails, because obviously we're talking about a topic here that involves everybody. No one is immune to this. I mean, from what we've seen over the last last 10 years, 20 years, a lot of things have happened. And if they're now only starting to talk about modernization, because I've just found stuff about the UK, I'm going to look for Europe as well. It's still going. I mean, like the thing is, some of us won't be here anymore. Some of you will your grandchildren will be adults. So let's just stick to this and just keep focus on this, because it's about the safety. It's about travel, and I doubt very much that your car can travel across 2,500 miles of heavy water and big waves and shit called the Atlantic Ocean. But who knows? You may be related to James Bond and have that Lotus that swims underwater, but who knows? So let's just stay back. Let's get back on target. I mean, topic. Sorry. Stay on target. Stay on target.
Do you want to finish reading this? Because we only have this page left.
What? Wait. What? Just the last bit? The FAA?
Yeah, we only have one page left. Which pad? Put it here.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. So, no, we've done that bit, haven't we? The FAA developed.
You stopped down here because this is when you went off about the you went on the redundant system.
Yeah. Okay. So the legacy system also create data integration challenges requiring inefficient one-off fixes and make it difficult to adapt the evolving aviation needs. Modernization to a standardized, scalable platform would reduce the total cost of ownership, simplify integration of new technologies, accelerating deployment of new capabilities, improve cybersecurity, eliminate vendor lock-in, ultimately enabling the FAA to respond more efficiently to operational changes and support future aviation growth. However, under the FAA's current projected program plan based on the historical F&E appropriations, these critical automation systems would not be implemented until 2040. Okay, so basically 15 years from now. So facilities, increased funding for the air traffic control facilities is also imperative to prevent the growth of our air traffic control facilities and sustaining backlog. Many ATC facilities, including towers, TRACONs, and en route centers, are deteriorating at alarming rates. Failing infrastructure such as HVAC systems, pest issues, leaking roofs, and asbestos hazards are compromising safety. This is where we go into snowflakery and wokenism. Swift actions to replace these facilities will prevent potentially catastrophic service interruptions, safeguard personnel health, and uphold the operations integrity of the entire NAS. With this support, the agencies can effectively manage the backlog and ensure the operational integrity of these vital assets. And additionally, addressing the replacement of air traffic control facilities in Paramount. Currently, the FAA replaces on average one control tower per year among the 377 FAA-owned towers in the agency's inventory, resulting in a staggering 300-year timeline. A 300-year timeline for full replacement. The agency aims is to significantly expedite these processes, reducing the replacement timelines to a far more practical 80 years, which can translate to replacing 4 to 5 towers annually. The FAA would also, wait a minute, where am I? There. The FAA would initiate planning and land acquisitions for the replacement of FAA's 21 en route air traffic control facilities, ATCs, which are approximately 61 years old on average. The FAA's 21 RTs were placed throughout the NAS because of the legacy technology limitations. These limitations are no longer an obstacle, and therefore the FAA can consolidate and reduce the number of ARTs, which would save operation funding. Yeah, okay, there's a lot I want to say about that. Conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, the conclusion. Yes.
Want me to read that?
No, yeah, I was just reading a comment. If you want to read, I just want to make a.
Hey,
I got this.
hey, look who's here.
Ammo Man. Hey, brother, how's it hanging? Oh, that was a boring question to ask.
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
In general, hey.
General
All
team.
right. It is imperative that the U.S. invests in the safety, efficiency, and growth of our nation's antiquated aviation infrastructure immediately. I don't disagree. Industry has voiced concerns and recommended providing immediate, robust emergency funding for ATC critical infrastructure investments in facilities and technology. Reference Modern Skies Coalition text to enhance NAS safety and efficiency 25.0414. Address to Senators Ted Cruz and Jerry Moran. Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, U.S. Senate. I want to look up that committee and see if they've actually done anything over the last decade. The United States must invest in infrastructure to become the gold standard again and lead with the best ATC system in global aviation. This funding, that right there, is provided specifically to get Congress on your side because they're competitive. This funding, in addition to creating tens of thousands of jobs across the U.S., will provide a safe, stable, efficient, and modern infrastructure to support air travel for years to come. Any dollar invested in U.S. airspace is a prudent investment. Aerospace generates 5% of U.S. GDP, the equivalent of $1.25 trillion, and accounts for over 2 million jobs. Aviation represents a larger sector of the U.S. economy than the automotive industry. It is one of the nation's most important national security, economic, and geostrategic assets. It is crucial the United States acts now to invest and modernize a national airspace system that supports the future and moves beyond the 1960s.
Let me ask a question. There's always going to be a question, no matter what.
I know. And that's okay. Because if we don't ask questions, we don't learn anything.
Right. If they know how long, right. Now, obviously some people use common sense. Some people just go, da, 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 da. Right. Now, if you know that you've got a problem in the system and you are fully aware of close calls and stuff like that, what we've covered on the last document that we covered, why are you waiting to fix something that should have been initiated years before? Why is it that you are trying to, you're saying about re-updating and changing ATCs or whatever, 1 or 2 per year? But why are you then spending billions or millions and billions and trillions, $1 trillion? Why are you trying? Why are you then building more runways to get more clientele, more aircraft into an airport? When realistically, you should be spending that money instead of like trying to get more bodies into one place. Why don't you spend it on the technology to ensure you can then expand an airport and get more people into there and do it
Because
safe?
that would mean you give a shit past your own pocket.
Oh, wait a minute. I just realized something. Sorry, it just dawned on me. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, members of the jury, Your Honor, I just realized I used common sense. I am now going to mute myself.
Yeah, common sense. We have to, and I think this is part of the like Elon and Trump, the argument. Elon wanted things to be perfect. Trump was like, these people are crappy and you have to get what you can get. Like there's the sense of living in a utopia and what we want to happen versus what actually happens. Angel.
The thing is that, like, I mean, Jeff hit the good now. No one wants to sign that check, but I still believe for this to even work and function well, I personally think that they have to have an independent body. I think like the government or the United States government and the public of the United States, you know, the FAA should be a separate body. It should have its own body, and you know, if something happens, they answer to the Senate, and there should be an independent body, self-reliable, self-responsive, and basically, you know, it will stop the corruption. It will stop the government control. It will stop the hypocrisy, and it will actually help to make things a little bit safer, if that makes sense.
Well, and the thing is, though, is like you hear more about people being upset at the corruption that's uncovered than the people being corrupt. Like you have more people pissed at Elon for exposing corruption than the people who are actually corrupt. And then you have these politicians who are spinning things like, oh, they're cutting the budget of Medicare. Yeah, because half of those people on Medicare don't need to be on, or Medicaid don't need to be on Medicaid. Like we're cutting the people who are 33 and are not working solely so they can get benefits. We're the person that's 100 years old who died 8 years ago and their freaking family never submitted the death certificate to the government and still kept collecting a check. So it's like the way they're spinning shit. Is it like you're never going to get everybody on the same page because people lie. And people lie and they twist shit to make themselves look good and everybody else look bad. And then you have people that believe them.
Yeah.
And you have all these people going, well, they're cutting this. Well, show me the data. And they can't. All they can say is, well, they said on here. This person said it. Show me the damn data. Somebody said in one of the bills lately that they were cutting a certain program. And I said, what page is that on? Yeah. And I got blocked.
I mean, you see, the thing is, I've just been sent a message totally off topic, but I have to say it because I am a solid supporter of Dr. Pepper. Apparently, the FDA, and I know that in America, you guys over there have more chemicals in your food than food, really. But apparently, the FDA have recalled 19,000 cases of Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar because they were mislabeled as zero sugar, but actually contained a full sugar version. I mean, this is what concern. I mean, like, look, it's not just America that's absolutely fucking idiotic. Everywhere you're going to have this situation with.
No, and like I said, it's no offense to the rest of the world, but we're bigger. We have more stupid people per capita.
I'm glad you said it, not me. But
like even if 1% of our population is stupid and completely ridiculous, that's still more than your entire population.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean, over 300 what? You got 375,
360 some odd million people.
yeah, you got 360 something million, and I would say that like nearly 2% of that 360 definitely escaped that little village up in Oregon called Idiotsville, which is a ghost
And
village.
well, and the thing about it too is the idiots are generally the ones who are the loudest because they can never admit when they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So they just go around screaming inconsistent. Like I will tell you when I'm wrong, or I will tell you when I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why I talk to people and I surround myself with people who are smarter than me.
I mean, you got.
I don't know.
I mean, like the problem that the United States have got, right, is, and this is not, this is a minority and a majority, but the thing is, the problem over in America is this big head egoism, and the thing is, all this money and everything else. But when Americans come to Europe or they go to foreign countries, and it's like, oh shit, and they see how people live in that country, they see the economy, how much things cost and everything else, like the fuel in America, for example, the perfect example, right? A gallon of fuel, that's 4 liters, just over 4 liters, right? You pay $5, $6 for a gallon, or apparently.
So
right?
like how I do, it was $2.61 when I left my house today.
Right, $2.61 for a gallon. Right, ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, over here in the United Kingdom, okay, a gallon would cost you around $20. A liter of fuel in this country is over £1.50. Okay, that is nearly $3 a liter. So if that you
Sorry.
like in my heart, what the
Totally didn't mean to do that.
What
I
the?
totally-
We're going there. We're fucking going there.
I meant to click on this, and I accidentally clicked the wrong one in the order.
Yeah. You start. Yeah. Right. But one thing you have to remember is that every country has their own issues in regards of economy and law and aviation and everything. But you have to remember, you've got it very, very easy, considering that in Europe, in Germany, in France, Italy, the UK, Spain, right? Even some of the eastern countries like Poland, Czechoslovakia, Romania.
Remember Greece in like 2005?
Excuse me?
Remember Greece in like what, 2005, 2006?
Yeah.
Where Greece was on the verge of collapse.
Yeah, I mean, look at Spain. Spain has multiple towns that are ghost towns. They built all this infrastructure, and then people went, not going there. It's too much. Give you an example. For example, if you like Turkey, right? A lot of people from Europe, Germany, the UK, and everything. You Americans go on about your teeth and everything.
Whoa, hold on.
What?
I will be right back. The little has opened my iPad, or hold on. My audio got screwed up.
No, I can still hear you.
Well, you can still hear me, but I can't hear anything else because the little opened my AirPod case.
Oh, right. Okay.
My AirPod's connected, and I couldn't hear anybody. Hear you.
Okay, listen, everybody. Let's talk about Squidward. She can't hear us.
No, now I can hear you. She closed it.
Right. But I'll give you a perfect example about the difference about America, and this is where Americans need to start coming back into the world of reality. A person over here, and I read this in the newspaper, a person over here, okay, using aviation, right, wanted to go and get their teeth done. They want to get implants. So over here, it would cost them around £20,000 to do it. What they did, they got on a flight that nearly had a close call at an airport in Turkey. And then when they went to the office, it turned into the place looked like a butcher's house. So they found a dentist, and they went for the operation, and they were there for 2 weeks. When they had the operation and had the teeth put in and everything else, they went down to a shop, and they had the choice to pay in Turkish lira or in euros. In Turkish lira, it would have been probably about £2, £3, or let's say $5 for you guys for a can of Coca-Cola, not the other stuff like that stuff. No, all right, a can of Coke and
sugar.
yeah, and a sandwich. Okay, like a sandwich. Yeah, and it was about $5. But when they went and then someone else went in to pay in euro, that can of Coke and that sandwich would have cost them nearly $25. They wanted nearly £13 worth of euros. That £13, right? Yeah, so euros £1.50. So 13, that's 26 euros. So what you have to understand is this: is every country is different. Money is different. This is why the UK in Europe, the UK is the only country who did not go to the euro. We are the only country in Europe, right, besides Turkey, because Turkey has only recently come to Europe, right? We're the only country in Europe who still have our own currency. America has its own currency. So if you do ever come to Europe, right, and you come and look at these touristic places, here's what word of advice I want you to do. When you go into Cardiff, or you go into Edinburgh, or you go into Dublin, or you go into London, right, go in town and go and buy a bottle of water, and then go out of town. Oh God, Jeff, really? Oh, that's such a distraction. That's so funny.
I couldn't help it.
Oh God, that's totally knocked me out of sync. That's totally knocked me out of sync. No, but what I want you to do, I want you to go into the town, go and buy a bottle, and then go out of town and go into Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda, Aldi, right? And yeah, and make sure you take a chair with you, because you probably have to sit down. In London, for a cup of coffee, for example, right? The last time I was down there, it cost nearly £4 for a cup of coffee. Well, £3 or something for a cup of coffee, right? Cardiff, when I went down there, 120, right? But when you go out of the major cities and you go into, like, towns, little towns and stuff like that, right? You'll see it. It's like day and night. So remember that before you brag about, oh, how fantastic and how great America is, where you're paying nearly a quarter of what we have to pay. Remember, $3 or $4 for 4 liters of fuel. We pay that per liter. And at one point, when the pandemic was kicking in, and when a certain country decided to go and shit on another country, right, fuel went from normal price nearly to extortionate price, nearly £2 a liter, and that was for diesel. And diesel was dearer than petrol, but petrol uses more to refine than diesel does. Figure that one out.
Yeah, there's certain things that I quit asking questions about because it just frustrates me. And I know I'll never get the answers, so it's like, you stop asking questions.
No, I mean,
all right. On that happy note, we are done with that plan. But now, here's the kicker.
One more thing, quickly. Sorry, if I can, really quick.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that at the end, this combines what I was saying about Europe and America. I want you to then bring it back into this topic with the ATC and the funds, the money that's going into it. There you go. Thank you. I wanted to bring it back to that topic because it's all about money.
All about the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a kind of a good point too. You have always paid more in gas than us. The disconnect, and it's not a complete disconnect because y'all still have to drive, but I saw a TikTok video where a person was like, she said that she was talking to an American. It was a British person. She was talking to an American, and she said how she didn't know where this person lived. And she said, well, how far is it from London? And she said, like, an hour and a half or something like that. And the American was like, oh, that's not far. And the Brit was like, what do you mean that's not far? That's not like, that's a commute for us. So like, it's all perspective. So when you and I were first having some technical difficulties, we disagreed about some stuff, and we came to the conclusion that, and my chat, people in my chat were having a problem with you based on some other things and whatever.
Yeah.
We came to the conclusion that a lot of our disagreements are perspective. We don't disagree about the end result. We disagree about how to get there just because we are from two separate countries.
Exactly.
We have different, like, the perspective and size.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, that's the easiest one to point out because it's just everybody knows, like, how big the US is compared to a lot of other countries. So like it's all about perspective. So when like you think of disagreeing on an issue, when I disagree with you on something, the first thing I try to do is look at it like, well, what if I was in his shoes, what would that look like to me?
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, when I took a trip down to the well, apparently I live in Southampton, apparently. But when
Not last time I checked, but okay.
Yeah, whatever. But when I took a trip down it on my bike to the capital city of the English, on the way down it and back, it cost me 2.5 tanks of fuel on my motorbike. My motorbike takes a 23-liter tank. So you figure out the distance, how many miles I had to travel. And the thing is, it took a while to get there and it took a while to get back, right? So, and the thing is, the difference between the UK and the US is a larger, like, it's just like Australia. America and Australia have the same sort of thing, right? Is that you have more population around the edges, all the way around it, around the edges. And then the population then starts getting less and less and less in the further you go into the center of the country. Just like Australia. Australia has most of its population around the edges, and the further you go in, the less it becomes. In the UK, for example, if you look at the maps, you have major cities potted around the country, right? And when you go towards the city, the closer you get, the more people you get, the further away you get, right? Don't forget, our country has been invaded multiple times. And the reason the invaders failed is because it took us, what you say, an hour's commute. It took us a day to get there on horseback and then whoop some ass and then come back and celebrate because we just whooped their ass. You know, you have to understand, this is why the UK as a country is a very aggressive country, because we have always been on the risk.
Well, and the thing is some of the people here, I'm not going to get into like international relations and stuff, but because that I don't understand. But like people here who are like the international conflict.
Yeah.
Japan was the closest person who, like, the closest country who ever got to invading the continental U.S. with Pearl Harbor. Like, we don't know what it's like for another country to invade our borders. And we don't know.
And Midwest.
So it's
sorry, Midway. Sorry, my apologies. Midway and
Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor, yeah.
But it's like it's all about perspective. So when our politicians talk about war, it's like you're not the people actually living there. Like, why are you, like, that's what I hate about like warmonger politicians. It's like you're not the people who actually live there.
Yeah.
Like, you've never been invaded. Yeah. You live in a house with gates and armed guards. Yeah. Like, so when you give countries millions of dollars to keep up a war, I'm like, no, because no.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I draw the line. I don't get into that because, you know, I mean, yeah, we're both former veterans and we both know what it's like on the receiving end to actually be the tool. But the issue that I've got with the whole thing is that, like, if you're going to hang like when you've got a small country and everything else, and you're going to hang that carrot and dangle that carrot in front of them and say, look, you're going to jump, and if I say jump, you're going to ask how high, and you treat that person and if you've not, it's okay if you've been to that country, but you haven't lived in that country, you don't know what's going on day in, day out. Okay, It's just like,
Well, it's like a lot of our politicians, they don't like a lot of even our citizens. Like our citizens are dumb because like they've never faced what is that phrase? Weak or easy times make weak men. Since the 50s, we've been in easy times. And like of course some people, you know, the civil rights movement in the 60s, people have hard times in general, but like as this whole society, we've had it pretty damn easy. And like we've become weak because we over here don't understand what it's like for
could you use the
not
word
have.
insensitive? Could you use the terminology insensitive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good.
Would you say like like I mean, I don't think all like the majority are like that. I just think that, you know, I think people expect to get what they want without as much effort.
Oh
And
yeah.
I just think that like everyone who I know, all my friends from the States and people I've served with, every single one of them, they're not like that. They, you know, they are the absolute picture, you know, the picture perfect American citizen who, you know, yeah, they've got their issues, they got their dislikes and they got their likes, but that's, you know, that's why I don't call a lot of people septic tanks.
All right. I
Sorry.
have to get.
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I have to get going.
No,
So,
that, yeah. Thank you very much for having me on again. Thanks.
No
I'm
problem.
glad that we got to the end of this, and I
Yeah.
hope that we've educated people on the issue with the flight safety and basically the air traffic control in Hull.
Hey, 3 awesome dogs.
Oh, hello, hey, awesome dogs. Roof.
Yeah, good luck. If you're the praying type, throw 3 awesome dogs add him to your prayer list because he could use it. But anyway, I will see you guys tonight at 8 o'clock for a deep dive with a special guest on parasocial relationships.
I'm looking forward to that.
What the hell's and beyond? And it won't be the last time I talk about that topic either, because that's a topic you could talk about every day for a month and not run out of content.
I mean, that's one thing I'm not going to get involved in. Like, it's already bad enough witnessing certain things, and yeah, I'll let other people discuss that topic.
Yeah, well, this person that's coming on has a lot more experience with parasocial relationships than I do, so
it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
She can give her insight, and we have some articles and stuff like that to go over. So should be a good time, good conversation.
Oh, my condolences, 3 dogs. Sorry.
Yeah, he was 2 dogs. Now he's 3. So you're not wrong.
Yeah, my
all right, y'all have a great day, and I will see you tonight.
Yeah.
Because certain people aren't doing their nightly streams that they usually do at 8 o'clock. I will be streaming. So y'all have a great night.
I'll see you. You have to give me a heads up. And guys, thank you very much. Squid, thank you so much for having me on here. And I'm glad that you've invited me to a regular Wednesday.
Oh yes, every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, Spawn and I will be discussing some aspect of this topic because this is Rabbit Hole Central. So instead of doing random streams, or seeing what works, 3 o'clock on a Wednesday works every week, unless otherwise specified. So every Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, we will be here. Don't forget to join us.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.